Hello, I'm Dr. Brian Gibson. This is another late night. I was out playing basketball with my son, and so we didn't get to this until a little bit later. But I think it's very, very important that I get this information out tonight as well. One of the big questions that many people ask, take the RNA and produce the information and actually pass it on to the other areas. Then you've got the Golgi apparatus, which actually puts everything in vesicles so it actually can transport outside the cell if necessary or to other areas in the cell. And you've got the mitochondria. The mitochondria is the most important piece of this cell as far as neuropathy is concerned, because if you damage this mitochondria, then the cell body doesn't have the energy necessary to do all the little pieces that it's supposed to do. So if you have mitochondrial damage, then the information will not be sent, or it may be sent slow, or it may be sent incorrectly, or it may be weak signal. All of those will cause the malfunction that happens with peripheral neuropathy. So that's one of the areas that can actually get damaged. You can actually get damage in the nucleus itself if you have reactive oxygen substance. So if you have a injury, a toxin, or something like that to the cell, you can actually get damage to the DNA or damage to the RNA, or your endoplasmic reticulum or the Golgi apparatus may not function like they're supposed to, and the information again isn't being passed like it should be. So either you don't have the energy to do it, or or a portion of that cell body is damaged so it can't work that way. The other places that you can have damage, you can actually damage the dendrites. So the information coming in is interfered with. So you're getting less information in. Again, you get a slow signal or a weak signal. Or you could actually get damage to the axon itself. The axon carries a signal from the cell body to other nerves or even to the brain. And if the axon's interfered with by one of two ways, if it's injured, then no signal is able to be passed. If you lose the myelin sheath, the lining of that nerve, which are individual cells, the myelin sheath are other cells. If those cells are damaged, then you're going to slow down and weaken the signal as well. So basically, any damage to any piece of this can cause that problem. So what are the causes of those damages? What can actually cause the damage in those different areas? I'm going to jump back so I can look at you face to face. So the damage can actually happen in several different ways. One is circulation. So if you have a problem with the blood flow to the area, to the nerve, the small vessels that supply that nerve, if they're not functioning like they're supposed to, then you get insufficient nutrients. That could include insufficient oxygen to the nerve. That could include insufficient vitamins to the nerve. That could include not getting the sufficient nutrients for the energy, so you don't get what you need in the mitochondria. All of those are reasons why the nerve starts to malfunction. Number two is a nutrient deficiency or dependency. If you're not getting enough vitamin B12, for example, to that nerve, it's not going to function the way it's supposed to. And so that's one of the other pieces of this, why it's happening in your body. A third way is, we kind of mentioned, is those reactive oxygen substances or other traumatic injury to those nerves. Surgery can do this. Cancer can do this. Cancer treatments can do this. There are medications that are toxic to nerves. Heavy metals are toxic to the nerve. Alcohol can be toxic to the nerves. All of these pieces can play into it and actually cause the damage to the nerve, and the nerve will start to malfunction. So with that information, you understand why it's happening. You say, okay, what's going to work? What do I need to do to treat this? So what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to actually remind you a little bit about my story and give you some information about how I determined what was going on and how I treated my peripheral neuropathy so that I was able to improve my symptoms. And hopefully that will give you some information of how this can also be beneficial to you. So if you're not sure exactly what's happening with your nerves, you're saying, okay, I have peripheral neuropathy. I found that I do have it, but I don't know exactly what part of this system is failing my nerves, what part of this system is causing my nerves to communicate in the wrong way, then you can reach out to me, or you can actually get additional information through a special program that we've created, the Neuropathy Boot Camp, where over 90 days we help you determine what's the cause of your nerve damage. We help you manage the symptoms. We help you fix that damage and put things in place so you don't continue to have damage, so that you can live a normal or even extraordinary life with peripheral neuropathy. So if you're interested in that, you can actually go to drbrantgibson.com/bootcamp, and you can get additional information about how you can manage your peripheral neuropathy, and more importantly, how you can determine what's going on in your specific situation to make sure that your peripheral neuropathy doesn't continue to interfere with your life. This is Dr. Brant Gibson, and this is your Neuropathy Nugget Day 215. Thank you for being here. And again, if you want additional information, drbrantgibson.com/bootcamp. Thank you. Have a great rest of your night.